everyone, my name is Fiona and I am, of course, one of your co-hosts for the DM's Book Club, a podcast where we talk about some Dungeons & Dragons and how we might implement it in our role-playing campaigns. So, we have done it. We have finally reached the end of Series 2, and I'm starting to make some plans for the upcoming third series. But to tide us over till then, I thought I would share with you a little something special. As you probably know from the other podcast I run, What Am I Rolling, I am a massive fan of running one-shots. And as it's almost Halloween season, I thought I would just run a nice little horror one-shot for two of our semi-regular co-hosts, David and Sam. This one-shot, The House of Lament, comes from my favourite D&D sourcebook to date, Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, which features everything both players and DMs need for running a horror-based campaign. As soon as I read it, I knew I had to run it for this podcast, and I'm so glad I did. You'll probably notice the audio quality changes every few episodes as we had to go from playing this one-shot in person to then online due to various work commitments. But if anything, it just goes to show that you can run any RPG, both in person and online, and it can still be fun. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy running it, and just to say thank you. Thanks to everyone who supported us during the last series. It really means the world to us, and we can't wait to see what the next series holds for us. So, without further ado, here is House of Lament. So we're going to be playing the horror one-shot from Van Richten called House of Lament. What I want, and what we're going to say, the faces. So just to clarify for the podcast, we're not playing actual full-on D&D characters, we're playing survivors. And that is basically a very pared-down version of the character sheets, where it's more traditional what you see in actual horror films. You know, there's the woman that survives the brutal attack, that sort of thing. So we thought we'd go into that.
I feel like a level 1 character, like in puberty.
Yes, yeah. And it's interesting because these survivors are supposed to be for either for like we said, like a bit like sidekicks from Tasha's, so that you either have them as a secondary character or for people who don't feel confident in D&D. And I thought, why not try out survivors in a horror one-shot and really feel like you can't do much. So, with all that in mind, why don't we go around the table and introduce what character type you're playing, so what survivor type you're playing, and a name and a bit of a background, so like what their sort of situation is, where they're from, if they've got a place or anything like that. So why don't we start with you?
With me?
Yes,
okay.
Please.
I am playing as an apprentice who's got a bit of magic, but he's a bit squishy, and he is called Lyle Plimsoll. And he's an apprentice intern in training at his dad's shoe shop. So quite a normal background to have survived whatever horror is going to approach us, and he's going to deal with it as best he can using his experience as an apprentice trainee intern in training.
And what's his accent going to be like?
It's going to be this.
Excellent. I love the fact you got Plimsoll as your last name. I think very good. So Lyle, that's
Lyle Plimsoll.
Lyle Plimsoll.
Lyle Jr.
Lyle Jr. Lyle the Third.
Point in fact, it is just him and his dad working at that shop. So the job description is purely to suppress his motivation.
Oh, bless. And David, so tell us a bit about your character, what character type it is, what survivor type it is, and the name and any background you'd like to add.
Right. Yes. Hi. I'm going to be playing Tobias Thatch.
Tobias
Thatch. I'm Squire. And the only thing I wanted to be for my entire life has been a knight, and I love knights. I just I have a slight phobia of anything that wants to hurt me, and I don't like being in pain. So that's me, and that's how I'm going through this.
So do you have a place that you are getting your your sort of apprenticeship at currently? Or
well, I keep applying and they keep saying no, but you know what? Next year's always a good one, and you just.
How many years have you been applying?
Well, it's less than 40 and it's more than 5. So.
Oh my
bit old for a squire, but you know, it's okay. It's okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so can you describe, Lyle? Can you describe a little bit about your features, perhaps? Like, what do you look like?
He's the kind of man where if you look at him and then look away, you would immediately forget what he looks like. He's kind of got he's quite young. He's got the attempt at a moustache, but it's not really worked out. He's got hair which he's attempted to comb, but it hasn't worked out. And he's got a face that hasn't worked out.
Oh no.
So yeah, deeply forgettable, wearing kind of attendance shoe. He's probably got like one of those shoe like tape measure things.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a shoehorn.
That's his spellcasting focus. So he uses a shoehorn to cast spells. And he's been practicing in his spare time.
What does Tobias look like?
Well, Tobias thinks that dress for the job you want to have. So he has. You okay there, Fee?
Oh no!
He has the kind of buzz cut hairdo. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of shaved, but not down to the skin. You can still see a bit of hair,
yeah.
And he's going for that whole hair the same length all around on the head, the beard. Except Tobias has never had much luck with beards, so that's not quite working out. Also, knights are very buff and strong.
Yeah.
Tobias is like if you took a regular knight and stretched them upwards.
Oh no.
He's kind of tall. He's about 6'4", and he's probably about 90 pounds wet.
Wow.
So we don't know how he can lift his shield, but he can.
He can.
Just.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's it really. He's going to try his darndest.
We've got two inept characters who aren't very good at growing facial hair. That's what I've kind of got.
I want it known for the official record, we didn't plan this.
No.
There was no communication.
No, I think that's great. Okay, so obviously you've lived your whole life. Every day is a day in, day out. But one day, each of you receive a mysterious message. And I want to know what the message says. It's very cryptic and very vague, but something about this message encourages you to follow it. So there's something about it where you're like, And it could be something like they need your help, you need to prove yourself, or reclaim what you've lost, that sort of thing. And it gives you instructions to go to a crossroads. So, Sam, Lyle, what is that message, if you can think of one?
The message reads, do you really want to be an apprentice training in training vice, training apprentice at your father's shoe shop for the rest of your life? If not, come to the crossroads at this time.
Ooh, love it.
Also, really, you should probably shave. That moustache isn't getting there. Give it another 5 years or so.
It says on the back of the parchment, sort of like a postscript, like
Yes, shave.
And what about you, Tobias?
Well, I imagine that when Tobias gets his message, due to the sheer nature of it, he reads it in a voice of intense gravitas.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, as reading, he hears something along the lines of, there is great evil descending upon the crossroads. Any true warriors of the realm must go there immediately and be the heroes that demands. For honour. And he is more intrigued by this message, because normally Tobias, being a failed applicant of the Adventurers Guild, would not do any of this. But the last two words, for honour, being the sort of calling card of the Adventurers Guild, he thinks that this is his chance. He thinks that now they're interviewing him, so he sets off.
Wow. I love it. Yes. So, following the directions in your cryptic messages you receive, it doesn't take you long before it leads you from familiar roads onto a disused trail with overgrown by weeds and the roots of spindly trees. There is a light drizzle that begins to fall as you travel, and as you approach a wooden crossroads, the leaden rain makes a cloaked form standing there even more real. So each of you have come almost like from opposite ends of this crossroads, and you see standing directly in the middle of this crossroads is almost like a cloaked figure who's sort of like arms up like that, so on each other's shoulders, hiding there. As you sort of approach and clock this figure, it sort of looks up, almost at both of you at the same time, despite going in different directions. The head snaps up, glaring with piercing yellow eyes, for what you took as a cloak spreads about it, revealing itself to be a pair of mighty black wings. With one powerful motion and a blast of chilled air, the wings sweep and the vague figure is gone. Let's go for Tobias. How do you react to this creature just suddenly appearing and disappearing, but clearly of clocking you?
Well, for the sake of everyone listening to this who can't see my current facial expression, it's much the same in that Tobias just stands there, stock still, with his eyes wide open, just frozen, staring at where this thing was, and just lightly quivering.
Fair enough. And Lyle?
All fluid leaves Lyle's body.
This is a horror D&D session, and we just, yeah.
We're ruining this for you.
No, I love it.
What the bloody hell?
And as you sort of both react to this, you can see each other from across the crossroads as these two individuals that you've seen this creature up and leave, sort of almost like shoot up into the air, and as you sort of both look down, you clock eyes with each other.
Hello?
Friend of yours?
I got a letter.
I also got a letter.
Do we know what that was?
Are you also from the Adventurers Guild?
No. I'm from Plimsolls and Sons.
I have no idea what that was or why I'm here now.
No. Is there anything on the bridge?
So it's a crossroads.
Oh, it's a crossroads. I don't know why I thought bridge. Is there anything where he left?
Are you going closer?
Yes. Shoehorn first.
Okay.
I'm going to pull the sort of wooden shield from my back and the longsword and try and look as impressive as I can for the man from Plimsolls. And I will storm ahead but swiftly regret every single step.
Excellent. So yeah, you can both make for me investigation checks, or you can, if one wants to help the other, that could be an advantage on that for sure.
Well, my investigation is terrible.
I've got a +1.
I got a -1, so I have some advantage. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Amazing. So as you approach where this creature last was, you see Tobias like sort of looking around with the sword, making sure, you think quite assuredly that he's going to protect you at all costs. Like it seems like that. As you approach where this creature was, you see on the ground various big sort of black feathers, sort of like almost as big as your arm, essentially, as if they come from some ginormous wing. But with that natural 20 buried in sort of the mix, there's like a big pile of them where it sort of has flown up and shot. You see like a little wooden sort of like wedge, essentially, with a hole in it, almost like heart-shaped with a little hole in it. And on it, there is a sign of, it looks like a raven placed on the top of it. Beautifully carved.
Why did I come out tonight? Then I look over at Tobias, who appears as the man I've always wanted to be.
Oh!
I try and appear as the man he's always wanted to be.
In the rain as well, like again, it's very, very dark. You look around, the grey clouds sort of boiling over at this point. It is, you're getting a bit sodden at this point for sure.
There's something over here. Enchanté, I'm Lyle.
Oh, hello, Tobias Thatch, Adventurers Guild.
Hi. It looks like a heart, but like with a hole in the middle, and there's
if you imagine like a flat wedge of wood, but it's carved almost like an arrow shape, a heart-shaped arrow shape with a hole in the middle.
Upon hearing this, Tobias is going to go, hearts aren't supposed to have holes in the middle.
No.
Something's definitely afoot.
A foot. I had that written down as one of my puns to say later on. I'm going to pick it up.
Okay.
Can I look through the hole?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe you pick it up and put it to your eye, and you can see right through the hole. Tobias is just standing there. Doesn't seem to be any sort of effect as you hold it. Maybe you search around almost like a luck stone or something, trying to see anything else out of it.
There's
no
nothing.
Effect. No.
Mean anything to you? This seems a bit weird.
Can I take a moment to have a look?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can make for me either an investigation check or a history check if you like.
Let's go for history. 1.
Bit of wood We're all in it. Like, it's beautifully decorated. Like, it's really, like, carved in it, all these different shapes, but there's definitely bird skulls in it, so it's a bit morbid.
It's definitely pine.
Well, I don't know what to do. Do you know anyone who might be able to help us with this kind of thing?
Well, we could certainly take it to the Adventurers Guild and see if they had any expertise.
But that was bloody scary. Who was that gentleman? Do you think, or person? Do you think it was them who sent us the letters?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
But it was a demon person, or it had wings.
Oh, do you think it was?
I don't know, but this is the most exciting day in my entire life.
Well, as a storied adventurer, this is simply another day for me.
Must be lovely. Right, yeah, I'll follow your lead.
Right. I'm going to turn around and try and remember the way back to the Adventurers Guild.
As you turn around, you see the fog and the mist have started to cover all the road, and actually all parts of the crossroad are now completely covered in this dark mist dense. You can't see through it currently.
Oh, bloody hell.
This wasn't forecast.
What's a forecast?
It's when a fisherman casts forwards and thinks about the future of the weather.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's I've been reading all about. It's a bit of anyway.
Can I pick up a stone?
Yep.
And throw it at the fog?
Absolutely. Make for me like an unarmed attack, essentially. So just plus your strength.
8.
So you just pick up like a decent sized rock for skipping, perhaps, and you sort of hurl it, and you just hear it go into the fog. You don't hear it hit anything.
Well, I don't know about you, but that's mildly concerning.
I have no fluid to remove from my body at this point, so yes, I have to agree with you.
Okay, so looking around,
Yeah.
It's fog every single way.
Yeah, at the crossroads there is no landmarks or anything. It is just almost like a complete, like a cross, essentially. But there's no landmarks to see where you've come or where you're going to.
I would like to make horror movie mistake number 1.
Yep.
And look up.
Okay. You look up,
Rookie.
and you can see just the clouds boiling over, sort of thing. Again, it's almost that horrible grey you see on the Dulux adverts. You know, it's proper like.
It's not only is it grey, it's Dulux grey.
It's Dulux
grey.
But impenetrable. Again, you almost like you can see things rolling in it, almost like the clouds essentially rolling over, and the rain as well sheeting down. That you have to shield your eyes from it, but. Doesn't seem to be anything up there. No tree branches or anything like that. No stars to look by.
Something's definitely going on here.
Oh, right. Should we make our way into the fog? I see.
Well, I'm a little concerned about doing that, and here's why. I threw a stone into the fog, and I didn't hear it land. Now, admittedly, my hearing has been better.
Yeah. Is there normal voice?
Yep.
Is there anything strange about this fog that Lyle could discern?
Also, is it closing in on us?
No, it's currently stopped where it is, this fog. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to look at see if there's anything magical? Okay, so do an Arcana check for sure.
That's a 7.
We got 1 natural 20 at the start, and that's it.
Absolutely. From your distance, it just looks like very peculiar fog. Like definitely thick. You've not seen anything like this for some time. You know, sometimes during the winter months, perhaps you'd have quite dense fog overnight. But this came in pretty quickly, unnaturally so. But you can't tell if there's any magical interference, so to speak.
Tobias, this is just slightly unusual thick fog. I mean, you see this most winters. I say if we just be careful, put our hands out forwards, maybe use your sword as a kind of just a prod. We should be able to make our way home.
Wouldn't that involve someone getting stabbed?
Oh, that's true, but who walks around in fog?
Us.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask, what are people's passive perceptions?
10.
10?
Can't even see it. What is it?
Wisdom.
Oh, 0.
Oh, so 10 as well.
10,
So
10.
as you're both talking to each other, you hear a sort of a behind you.
I turn around, weapons drawn.
Make a perception check. Both of you can.
Oh, Jesus.
12.
6.
6. With a 12, sort of easy enough. So the 6, you're sort of like, Tobias is sort of looking around, going, where? Lyle, you look round and you see directly behind you on the ground that wasn't there before a pebble.
There's a pebble.
Looks very similar to the pebble that Tobias threw into the fog the opposite way.
Oh no. It's a pebble. It's the one you threw. We can't leave?
Well, we must try.
Okay.
And
After you.
Yeah, I will heroically march forward north.
Okay, north. So are you following Lyle?
Yes.
So as you sort of... Sorry.
Sorry, it's the accent it keeps getting me.
So you're marching forward, Tobias, like sort of like as heroically as one can. Lyle, how are you following then? Are you grabbing his shoulder? Are you like rushing after him? Like,
Have you got a tabard?
No, I just have a shield and my regular clothes.
Okay. I'm just just tentatively following behind him.
yeah, absolutely. So as Tobias makes it into the fog and you follow behind Lyle, the fog envelops you for like a couple of seconds, and then suddenly you burst out of it on the opposite side of the crossroads where you've come from. And I guess Tobias might just stop, and you sort of like walk into the back of him as you realise that this is the same crossroads.
Well, what a predicament!
I have an idea. And I want to run to the other end of the crossroads, like where we just came from.
Yep.
Turn around to...
I know what you're going to do.
Turn around. And I was going to... All right, we'll turn around and we'll both walk into the fog.
I see where you're going with this. Brilliant!
That's what I'm going to do.
So let me get this straight. Are you both walking backwards into the fog?
Yeah.
Great. Roll a d20.
Me too?
Yeah, both of you.
6.
5. Oh my god. Roll something that's not a single digit.
So you both do like 1 step, 2 step. You both hit something, but you realise quite quickly it is the other person that you just both hit into the back of.
You have a very rigid backside, Tobias.
Thank you. We should. And I'm going to take him by the arm and drag him my way out of the fog.
Yeah, and again, you will reappear on the other end of the crossroads. The rain at this point is starting to come down in a torrential pour, almost like a rainstorm. Like,
so it's significantly worsening.
it is getting worse for sure. Yeah.
Hello? Letter writer, are you still around? We don't understand what we're supposed to do.
Can I take the heart off? I'm sorry, I've already forgotten your name.
Lyle.
Lyle.
I'm so sorry, what's your name? Tobias, we're best mates.
Okay, can I take the heart off Lyle, and looking through it, I want to look around the area and see if there's anything it matches to.
Okay, if Lyle lets you do that, that is a perception check.
So now...
An 8. Again, the rain at this point is getting worse and worse, and your hair is starting to get matted to your skulls. The insides of your clothing is getting sodden.
These are suede.
I'm using my shield as an umbrella.
At this point, the grey light in the clouds above begins to dim a little, and as it does so, off the sort of the beaten track of the crossroads, if you imagine it as a sort of a straight cross and you guys are sort of in the centre of it now, off, say, at a 45-degree angle, depending on where you want to look at, there is a dim light that sort of becomes visible against the rain. And you can see, as there's a thunderclap and lightning, a wooded hillside, and at the top, a structure of some sort, like quite far off in the distance.
Well,
I think it's only wise that we go and see to this.
yes, I've got your back, I believe is the term I've read in my books.
Yes,
Great.
that would be accurate. Right, and I am going to, because I'm worried about my longsword getting wet because it was expensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to sheathe it.
Okay.
And using my shield as an umbrella, I'm going to walk towards the light.
The light and the haze, yeah. Are you sharing the shield umbrella with Lyle?
Is it big enough?
I mean, it's however big enough you want it to be.
I'm just clasping onto your back.
I imagine it's just like a regular wooden shield because looking at my stats, it's not going to be anything fancy.
Yeah.
So probably not, no.
And Lyle, I'm guessing are you following behind or?
Yep, I'm getting wet, but I'm following.
Trying to kind of get under the shield.
Yeah, just maybe my head is under and I'm in like a really uncomfortable...
Oh yeah, it's like when there's a short person holding the umbrella.
Oh. Please 6'4".
Yeah. But maybe he's holding the shield back like a parasol rather than over the top.
What?
Oh, it's something...
In a deluge?
Yeah, I don't know. So, you making your way through, and as you're sort of progressing through this sort of thunderstorm and the light, the haze gets clearer and clearer and clearer, until eventually you make it out onto this sort of wooded hillside, and up the top you can see a house of some description. Gradually through the haze and the brush give way to reveal a bold hilltop. There stands a grim black tower, the last defiant turret of a long crumbled fortress. Attached to this tower is a 3-storey manor house, weather-beaten and veined with ivy. A porch girds the house, its sagging roof sheltering a stout front door that stands open and emits a flickering light. And as you sort of are rushing towards the porch, probably to get out of the rain, you can see there is a cart and 2 horses sort of there, and you can see 2 figures are sort of bringing out sort of boxes and putting them onto the porch, sort of unloading this. They currently haven't seen you just yet. 2 very similar humanoid-looking individuals wearing sort of big coats and very frothy sort of frills. And you can see even from this they've got very fine finery on. One has a hat, like one of those like a bell hat essentially.
Do they look nice and respectable?
And they look very respectable, absolutely, even from this distance. But again, you can't necessarily make out their facial features at all because of the haze and stuff.
Hello? I say hello there.
So the figure with the bell hat turns around and goes, oh my goodness, Laurie, we have guests. And, oh, what are you talking about, Jennifer? Oh, hello, please come in. You must be frightfully sodden. Please come in. And they sort of usher you in, and you can see there are 2 twins. Again, sort of dressed in what we would, obviously, in the real world call sort of Victoriana sort of attire. The sort of Laurie, again, sort of stiff upper lip sort of chap with a little moustache. And Jennifer, again, with the bell hat and very close cut, sort of almost pixie crop to her head, but looking very similar features, almost identical twins. They say, oh goodness, you must be so dreadfully cold. Please come in. I'm so sorry, we don't have much to spare. We've only just arrived ourselves. Please come in. And they sort of lead you into sort of the main hallway of this house. You sort of are led into this foyer, and you can see immediately from the sort of the manor house outside, again, that sort of the age and stuff with the sagging roof and stuff, it sort of comes into here as well. There is peeling wallpaper and a musty scent clinging to the walls of this very spacious foyer that you're in. There's a curving sort of staircase that rises from the cracked tiles into a balcony above, keeping its distance from a darkened chandelier covered in cobwebs. There are doors leading in every direction, and at the centre of this room there is a bronze sculpture of an antlered eagle perched upon a marble pedestal in the centre. And as you sort of like come in and you're sort of dripping, little bits of water off her and say, oh goodness, please let us get you some towels. Jennifer, you must have some here. Oh yes, Laurie, I will totally get some. Sorry. My name is Laurie, this is my sister Jennifer. We are the Mayweather Foxgroves, famous monster hunters. We are here just to investigate the goings on in this lovely abode. So tell us, what brought you here?
Well, we received a very disquieting message inviting us to the crossroads, which we now realise was perhaps maybe not as valid and legitimate as we once thought.
We saw an individual take off their cloak to reveal wings.
It was never actually a cloak, you see.
Oh, goodness,
Is it not?
It must have been wings all along.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh. That sounds absolutely frightful. Jennifer, have you heard anything of this? Oh, well, no, Laurie, but I've heard that there are some strange going-ons. You know how it is with the mists. There's a way that they transport people to different places. So which plane are you from? Which cities are you from?
I make shoes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we're both from Applegrove.
Applegrove. Oh, yes. That will be the... Oh, yes, that would... You're in Borka. You're in Borka now.
Borka?
Yes.
Where?
Borka. It's how can I describe it? Sometimes the mists, they just take people as they wish to. Borka is a domain, essentially. Oh, my sister and I, we travel between the domains, fighting the evil and the hunters of the monsters and stuff like that. And Borka is one such plane, yes. And that's where we are currently. Ha!
Is it dangerous here?
Oh, every plane is dangerous if you know where to go looking for danger, my dear boy. Ha ha!
I make shoes. How do I get back?
Jennifer sort of goes, oh, my dear. We'll be able to help you get back. There's different ways of getting back. We tend to walk across. We have various spells and stuff, but we actually have work here in this house. If you're happy to help us, we will be able to show you the way out afterwards.
You're a size 8, 9?
I'm 6.5 actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I know that people always think because obviously twins. He's an 11, won't you believe? And we can't. Anyway, sorry. We
are you talking about shoes?
Well, yes. How else am I going to help with this?
Well, how can we help? Not that we are averse to terribly perilous situations. Simply
I am averse.
Simply that we should return to Applegrove as soon as possible.
Right, of course. We've been hired by a local family in Borka to. There's been a bit of how do we put it? And Laurie is sort of still unloading stuff. And as you can see, he's unloading lots of different paraphernalia, some that you wouldn't really recognise. There's definitely like a crystal ball that's brought out at one point. There's various sort of instruments that sort of again, some of them sort of snap and sort of, there's almost like one that even produces electricity. It's I'm still fixing that one. And all sorts of different paraphernalia. And sort of Laurie turns around and is like, what do you know of ghosts?
I mean,
dead things.
Yes.
Spot on.
Not particularly happy dead things.
No, that's true.
Very, very difficult to do anything about with normal weapons, I think.
Depends on how you talk to them. We're not adventurous types ourselves, are we, Jennifer? Oh no, of course not at all. We like talking to them and seeing what they need and seeing if we can provide it for them. We've been told here there's been some spooky happening in this actual manor house, and we thought, in for a copper, in for a gold, so to speak, and we just thought we'd help. Sort out this business and stuff. We're very famous at this sort of thing. It's something what we want to do, really.
Right. Is there much money in this?
Oh, yes. Well, we're being paid 20 gold a day.
Oh, that's more money than I've ever seen. I mean, more money than a standard adventure is perhaps worth.
Yes. Well, sign me up at a relative distance behind you.
Oh, if you're willing to help us, that would be amazing. We unfortunately normally have a couple of other members of our party just sort of come to help us, but unfortunately the mists were not kind to us, so there's just us two. But it should only be a night or two in this place, and you sort of look round at this big foyer with the peeling sort of thing, and again the sound of the rain hitting the windows. It's sort of it's got character.
I should say, as my father used to say, best put your best foot forwards and deal with the situation. So I don't suppose... I'm not much of a weapons user, but do you have a big stick I could borrow, like a quarterstaff or something?
I'm sure we can find something. And we might have to look in one of the closets, perhaps maybe a walking stick. Again, we're not necessarily fighters ourselves or anything like that. You see, Jennifer here, she's the more... the one with the powers. And Jennifer sort of turns around and goes, Laurie, stop it. I'm just a bit more gifted. I commune with the spirits more often.
Humble brag. I'm just a bit more gifted.
Out of the twins, yeah.
Poor Laurie.
Look, if you're happy to help us, then we'll essentially we have to, we've got the parlour, and so they point through to a sort of a door, and you can sort of see in there's a very sort of paraphernalia and stuff, which they'll usher you through in a second, and they say, well, one of us will have to be in the parlour to set up for the first séance, and then we will go through the other rooms perhaps and see if there's any other mishaps or any sort of recording things. I've got my notebook and I've got my little doo-wad, and we'll calculate any of the activities and see what is here that needs being put to rest. Yes.
Have we got any salt or incense or temperature gauge or anything like that?
Oh, we've got all of those sort of things. Yes. So if you wish to help yourself to them, more than welcome. Yes. Oh, it's great. Normally it's very hard to get people in on this sort of thing, but you seem right on the. Sorry, what was your name, good sir?
I'm Lyle Plimsoll.
Oh, so terribly good to meet you. Laurie, Mayweather Foxgrove.
Hello, Laurie. Hello, Jennifer. This is
Tobias Thatch, Applegrove Adventurers Guild.
Oh, fabulous! I've not heard of that one.
We're quite well known.
Oh well, I can't wait to visit.
Right. Yes, we are. My dear comrade Lyle and I can absolutely handle this. Two nights here in this horrible, creepy manor. We'll be fine.
More often than not, it's just simply a little spooky ghost who just needs a little bit of a conversation starter. Just wants a little talk and stuff. And then normally after we have one of our chats, or when Jennifer chats to them, they just stop responding. So we just think that's perfect. They don't need any more help, and then we just leave.
Sounds delightful.
Great, and then we'll head back home.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely, we can definitely help you with that. No problem at all. And you're sort of ushered through to the parlour. And you can see as you sort of come in, it's this sort of huge sort of square room, and it has dozens of sort of faded portraits that cover the walls. All of the portraits' eyes, it's one of those things where they obviously are sort of painted dead straight ahead, but they all seem to be fixed on this big circular table that bears an ornate spirit board. And there's a wide mirror that sort of hangs over the back of a tall fireplace, which you can see sort of Jennifer starting to put the kindling together and start to light it up. Right, we are going to make camp here, so this will be our base of operations, so if at any point we can come back here. It is pretty safe in here. Jennifer was saying before she saw some wards on the wall, so we think we're pretty protected just in case there's anything here. So if in any doubt, come back here.
Wonderful.
Right, well, good that we have a base of operations for this.
Excellent. One last thing, and Jennifer sort of goes through some things. I found some floor plans, which I think will be very helpful. Here you go, and she sort of passes over a floor plan to you both.
Oh.
So you can see the room in the centre of the map with a circular. That is the parlour, which you are currently in, and you've come through that room with a star on it on the front. That is the foyer, and you come through those double doors at the front there.
Gotcha.
Just so you know. Also, as we're doing the podcast for this, do describe where you're going. It's just thought it would be a little bit helpful than me just doing it.
Of course.
So Laurie is very happy to sort of help you and assist you and sort of come around. He's got like his little notebook and stuff, and he's got like what looks like a very weird sort of box with little wings on it, and it sort of goes up and down, makes odd beep noises every so often. What would you guys like to do?
Okay, so I will say that what we should do is try and clear these rooms one by one. So, what Tobias is going to suggest is that we leave out of the door heading towards the kind of western edge of the house.
Yep.
Which should put us in a long corridor.
Yes, that is right. Yeah.
Okay, there is a door on the far right-hand side towards the sort of northwestern edge of the house. Mm-hmm. Tobias, heroically, is going to head towards that. So
you're going up. You're going that way. Cool. All right, so you start making your way up there, and you go, oh yes, good plan. The conservatory, great idea. And as you sort of tootle off, Jennifer's like, oh, be careful. If at any point you hear anything, make sure you make a note of it. But well, we've discovered that they can't harm you. They're just harmless things. So don't worry. Okay, don't panic. And she sort of looks at you and was like, don't panic, as if like thumbs up, sort of like, yeah, you'll be fine. Okay, good luck. And she shuts the door behind you.
It's fine. We'll be all right.
Okay.
All right.
So I want to know, what is the marching order as you're going through the house? Like, who's going first? Like, Laurie is happy to be wherever you put him. He's sort of like very happy-go-lucky, like sort of foppish hair, little moustache.
I think with his shield, Tobias will go first.
Laurie's a bit of a bruiser by the looks of things.
Oh no, he looks like as thin as a rake.
Okay.
Bit of a teddy boy, you remember?
And Jennifer?
Equally rakish.
Okay.
And she's staying in the room. She's staying in the
She's
park.
staying in the
Oh,
park,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so she's setting up for the
Laurie.
séance.
Okay. I will stand behind both of you.
So you're third.
Yeah, I would have said so.
Yep.
So you start to make your way to the thing, and you come across a sort of a glass door, and on it does say conservatory in very helpful cursive writing. As you open the door, Tobias, you can see vines sprawled across tables, and foggy glass walls of the conservatory greet your sort of gaze. Rusted gardening tools and pots of barren soil lie scattered across sturdy wooden tables. As you enter, Tobias, you can see across from you. It's weird, there's a moment when you sort of step across the threshold and you can almost feel like a chill come across your skin. And when you blink, the conservatory goes from sort of a dark, sort of almost like a dead sort of place with all these different plants sort of dead around you, to an alive scene filled with fauna and flora. There is a woman that sort of walks past you, in front of you, with a veiled hat and a parasol. She pauses here and there to admire a bloom or to adjust a pot, and then looks straight towards you. And as suddenly as she appears, she vanishes, and the room lies in ruin once more. So you get that as you were the first person to arrive. And as Laurie sort of is looking down at his notebook and Lyle's behind you, you do not see that.
Did anyone else see that?
See what?
See what?
Never mind. Just entirely, unrelated. If you do happen to see a very scary woman with a parasol, do let me know.
Oh, a scary woman with a parasol. Okay. I'll make a note. He makes a note in his little big notebook.
Oh. And what I would like to do is... so I saw her come from one side of the room.
She's almost like she appears in front of you. And so the parasol, like you imagine, like as you blink and she just appears walking in front of you and turns around and looks at a pot, turns around and looks at blue, and then turns back around and looks straight at you.
Can I sort of investigate the other places she was looking?
Absolutely. Make an investigation check. Lyle, what are you doing at this point?
15.
Okay, come back to you in a second.
Sure, because you were looking at where she was.
Yeah, but...
Are there any strange plants?
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. You can look...
Desiccated remains.
There is plenty of decimated remains. You can see, easily enough, you don't have to roll for this, there is a plant right in the corner, so the northwest corner of the room, alive, still flourishing almost, like beautiful sort of purpley black leaves and stuff with really fat black berries all on top of it. With that 15, you start to move into the room, Tobias, and Laurie will sort of look around with you. As you sort of make it to the plants and stuff, you get to the tables and you can see the tools on it. And as you sort of are looking around, you just suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, see something move, and you look up, and the tools have started to float in the air. But before you have a chance to react, a 9 does not hit you, does it?
No.
You go, "Huh!" and duck, and it just hits into the back of the wall, like a fork. Good thing you dodged.
Tobias will very quickly go, I think we should leave.
Lyle, you look up, and a fork comes in your direction as well. 11?
11 hits.
Hits. You take 2 piercing damage as it just sort of glinches your shoulder as you
That's not good.
Yeah. And Laurie's like, quick, chums, quick, we must leave. Quick. It's too spooky in here, we must leave.
So shield up, I'm going to sort of like back out. Is the dodge action something I can take in this?
Absolutely, yeah. We're not going to do necessary combat, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah, just basically, I want to be sitting there with my shield up as I'm kind of backing away and the last one out the door.
So as you back up, Laurie needs to see if he can dodge that. Yeah, that misses him. Lyle, as you starting to back up as well, you trip over one of the plant's sort of vines on the floor, and as it does so, the vine starts to move and starts to wrap around your legs. Can you make for me a strength saving throw?
God. That is a 4 down to 3.
Okay. As you are struggling to it sort of wraps around your legs, goes up towards your torso, and then goes up towards your neck and starts to choke.
Can I draw my longsword and chop at the vine?
Absolutely. Make for me an attack roll.
Okay. 17.
17 hits. You don't need to roll damage for this. It's you sort of hack down into it. It sort of almost squeals and sort of like horridly, like almost Resident Evil style, sort of like disappears down, and you're like allows sort of getting your breath back. You sort of pull him to the feet, and as you both sort of get to your feet, you look at the conservatory glass wall, and you can see there are now cracks in where the glass was, and it just says "uninvited" in huge block capital letters. And Laura's like, I think we should leave. Gentlemen, let's take.
Yeah, we're out.
I never felt so alive.
So you rush out of the door and you click the door shut. You can hear the sounds of scraping as the vines try and get through the door towards you.
Laurie, perhaps we should return to Jennifer and inform her of what's happened.
Sure, but I mean, it's just a few vines and stuff. They can't get through. We should maybe look around the rest of the house, surely.
Next room? Where do you think?
Well, if we go a little bit back down this corridor towards the parlour, there's this first door on the right. We could go there.
Yeah.
So you sort of move back a little bit. Again, maybe you're making sure there's nothing coming through the door. And actually, as you look back, there's the sounds of scraping and scratching at the door cease to be, essentially thinking that they are quiet for now. Yes, you come to a door, and the door itself is of one that is of plain oak, essentially, with an ornate handle on it, with what looks like the imprint of a raven, like a sort of not an imprint. What am I talking about?
Like a stencil, like a drawing.
Kind of, but
engraving?
Yeah, engraving is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, sorry. I know.
We're all failing on the words
engraving
today.
is exactly the right word. So like an engraving of a bird skull as the handle. So yeah, so you have a door there. What would you like to do?
Okay, well, I'm not. I mean, tell me if you want to, but I think with my armor class and health, I should probably.
Pulling a fork out of my shoulder.
Oh yeah, at this point, yeah.
No, feel free.
So it's a raven.
It looks like the beak, like as if it's like the bird head of it, essentially, as there's a thing, as a thing to pull down as the door handle.
Oh, I'm gonna try and pull the door handle.
Okay, easy enough. Like you go and you hear a slight click of a well-oiled lock, and the door opens. Lyle, can you describe your father's workshop for me?
Bits and pieces everywhere, lots of meticulous ornaments and shoes, the smell of leather, him busy at work. It's all quite crowded and busy. The old bit of candlelight, flickering shadows, dancing through the room. It's magical.
So the door opens and it is a complete darkness except for a little bit of flickering light. And for a second, Lyle, you get that scent, that sort of that musk of leather hitting you for a second. And you can make out the shapes, the tools hanging from the ceiling, the various wooden moulds that are hanging from like various beams and stuff. And you think for a second there is somebody else in the room working away diligently. Thank you. Never mind. Working away.
Working hard.
Working very hard at this workshop. But then Laurie sort of brings up like an oil lantern, puts it in, and the room, that vision disappears and floats away, and you just see an ordinary sitting room. I don't think there's much in here. It looks like a sitting room of some sort.
Yeah, I just saw a strange vision of my father's workshop.
Oh, how fascinating.
I saw nothing.
Oh, well.
But you didn't see the ghost that I saw earlier.
You saw it? Oh, no, I didn't.
Something's going on here.
It's playing games with us. Vision games.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
There's like a sudden thunderclap and the lightning.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Is there anything odd or out of place in this room now that its true form has been revealed?
Make me an investigation check.
Can I assist him in that?
You certainly can.
Good, because that was
Thank
a natural
God.
1. Roll like a normal person.
How is that not normal rolling?
I don't know, you were like jazz hands in your hand.
What did you get?
I got a 6.
A 6. Okay, so you make your way through, and for all sort of purposes, this room feels like a very stuffy, very old-fashioned. Like for you, Lyle, and I don't want to assume anything, but you've definitely not been in a living room like this. There's definitely like an upper class sort of feel to it. And some of the shelvings and stuff you see, there are certain like stuffed animals in it. It's like a stuffed owl, a couple of bird skulls and stuff like that, some curios there. There's a globe, which if you look at it and open it up, there is like empty whiskey glasses and the whiskey bottles in there, completely bone dry. There's a chaise lounge where the stuffing is slightly coming undone underneath. There's definitely some wear and tear in this room, but it is how can I describe it? It's not dusty or cobwebbed or something. It's just fine, as if it's not been taken care to for like the last couple of months per se. But you don't find anything.
Sod all in here.
Right. Well, let's chalk that as another room that we've cleared, and let's leave.
Yes. Next one along.
Yes. So we're gonna try and get out of that room.
Mm-hmm.
Head back down the corridor past the parlour on our left.
Yep.
And to the last door on our right.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So you sort of go in, and it's again similar sort of thing. The bird head as the handle. You're going to open it?
Yep.
You take a moment. You open the door. Complete darkness again, and you sort of you have the candlelight, like the oil lantern, and Laura's like, hello, like sort of looks in. I almost like a Three Stooges type thing is what I'm thinking at this point. You see a very similar layout to the previous room as well. There's like a chaise lounge. This one actually has more of maybe a tea room aspect to it. You can see at the back there's almost like not like a glass case, but a cabinet of some sort with various different tins in it, and you can see what they used to contain different types of loose leaf tea. So you can see there's like Assam written on it. I assume that both of your characters can read before we get into that thing.
I mean, my intelligence is 9, but yeah, I think I can.
I think you can read basic words, but it's like Earl's Grey, Lady Grey, that sort of thing. But as you look in, like there's definitely there's nothing in them at all. They're literally just for show. Some of the books as well on the bookcases, you can see maybe you pick them up and actually the pages are just stuck together as if sort of fake in a way as well. But nothing of interest in this room from what you can see.
Well, no horrors or visions of personal history is a boon.
You know, after the first couple, this feels slightly anticlimactic. Well, you know what? I like boring. Boring is good. Let's leave it be, and we'll just chalk this one up as fine.
Yeah. Right. Where should we go next? Should we keep going further down this corridor? Try the next door along?
Yes. Well, we also want to check the main entrance as well. I feel we kind of just stumbled through that.
Sure.
Okay, so, Tobias will wait until everyone else has left before backing out of the room.
As you're backing out, can you roll for me 2d20s?
Oh, I'd love to. Can I borrow yours, please?
Yeah.
Wait, is it me rolling 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a natural 20 and a 3. I think that was the wrong time to get a natural
maybe.
20.
And a 3, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Don't say interesting, Fiona. I don't like interesting as a word.
As you start to shut the door, Tobias, you just hear, almost like at the back of your mind, almost like a tickle.
Oh, God.
And you just hear, Tobias. Tobias.
Yes?
I can make all your dreams come true. Come find me. I'm down below. And we'll take a quick break there.
Oh.
Thank you so much for listening. You can come find me and pretty much every other co-host we've had on the show at What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, available on the What Am I Rolling website and wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm hopefully going to start up our own official Discord for both What Am I Rolling and DM's Book Club soon, along with a Patreon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks again, speak soon, bye!